VAD, the creative lead of VAD. She says I should call her VAD, VAD by Viva.
Yes.
And the name is Viva Bruce.
Yes.
Wonderful. But we hear the word La Viva, means long live the king.
Yes.
Why the name Viva?
But in this case, long live the queen.
Oh, is that so? Fantastic. Yes. That's good. I like that.
So that's actually my name.
Oh,
Viva
wow.
is my name, yes.
Wonderful. Great. The African Development Bank is saying that the industry, the fashionomics industry, is worth about $30 billion. And you have moved away from bank into this because you want to get a pie of that. Why did you move from banking to fashion?
I think I just wanted to create something that's mine. I mean, first of all, fashion is my passion. And so...
Fashion is your passion?
It is my passion.
It's rhyming.
Yes. So it was just a move to pursue my passion. But most importantly, it was to do something that I could call my own. Yes. So basically, that's it.
Wow. So when did you get into the fashion industry?
I think I've been doing this for between 8 to 10 years. But seriously, let me say in 2018 was when I decided, listen, let me just take this thing seriously. And so that's when I quit my regular 8 to 5 work to focus on it.
Banking?
Yes.
My people are dying to get into banking. You are run away from banking?
I think I had
or you had so much money from banking, so you want to just...
Not necessarily, no. I think I'd had my fair share of it. So it was now time for me to move on and do something that I could also call my own.
How long did you work in the bank?
In the banking space, let me say 10.
10 years?
Yes.
And that within that 10 years, you were still doing the fashion or just...
Yes. I was still doing it part-time. And so I go to, I mean, lucky for me, during the last, I think 6 years of my banking work, I was in Tema. And the shop is in Tema. So I close from my regular 8 to 5. And in about 10 minutes, I'm in the shop. And then I'll sew till about 10 p.m. and then just go home.
Which bank were you working? If you didn't mind.
Nah, I don't think it's right for me to mention it.
Okay, let's try. Fantastic. Now, okay. So, was your mom into sewing or dad into sewing before you jump into this business?
I don't think there was any member of my family into sewing. I just happened to have started it.
So how did it come that you're into banking? Your mom is, you've never, I mean, none of your family members are into this business, and then you just moving.
I love to dress well, and I love to see people dress well. And I'm sure most of my friends who see me in the business now are not surprised. But actually getting into fashion as a business, I think it was just more of a coincidence. I just happened to have chanced on a gentleman who said he could sew and needed me to get a machine so we could start business. And I've always been business minded. And so I said, okay, why not? So I got a machine and I got a cutting table. And lucky for me, I had this very dear neighbor, Bella, who said, Viva, I could give you my garage so that you can start operating from. So she gave me the garage, and that's where we started operating from until I was able to gather a little money to buy a container that we moved into.
How much did that machine cost at that time?
Oh boy, I can't remember. Maybe at the time it probably was like 600 cedis.
Okay.
Currently. Because those machines are selling for maybe like 1,000 to 2,000 now. So probably around the time.
Was it
like
an industrial one?
Yes, an industrial one.
So you started from a garage?
Yes. That's where we started from. And then we moved into the container, and that's been our story.
Wonderful. Now, why the name? You said you're a creative lead. You're not a CEO. Why creative lead?
I love to say I am the founder, not necessarily CEO. I think I appreciate founder more. But I'm the creative lead because most of the designs that we do falls on my lap. And so I love to use that title instead. And so typically, if you find me and you ask me what I do, I'll tell you I'm the founder and creative lead of VAD by Viva.
VAD by Viva.
Yes.
Wonderful. Great. So how, if I want to see how creative you are, how do I see that?
Oh, I mean, I'm actually wearing one of my designs. And so if you think this is creative enough, then of course you can make your own judgment.
Great. Wonderful. I think we've seen some of your handiwork there.
Oh yes.
Oh wow.
Yes.
So you $38 billion of this industry.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So Viva, if so you don't sew yourself, or you sew?
I sew.
You sew?
Yes.
Oh wow.
I sew myself.
How long did it take you to do the sewing, learn sewing?
I think probably about 4 to 5 months.
Have you learned how to sew?
I learned how to stitch on my own,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had to go and learn how to cut.
Okay.
I mean, the plan was to do it for maybe about 8 months to 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened that things were not going okay in the shop, and I had to rush back. But at the time, I think I had been able to learn the basics enough to move back and try to do the rest on my own. And that's what I've done since. Yeah.
Great. So within that space of 4 or 5 months, were you still working in the bank, or you had stopped working then?
At the time, I think at the time I still was working. Yes. If I can recall, I think I was still working.
So leaving the bank to do fashion, there's never been a day you regret doing that?
No, not at all. I mean, no matter what the challenge is, I have never regretted.
You don't regret counting money?
No. I think the time was just up for me.
Wow.
I don't regret it at all.
Now, let's look at some of the things you do. What would you describe as your high-end product?
My high-end will probably be the occasional wears. We do the bridal stuff. We do maybe wedding attires that we do. And then my low end will probably be my ready-to-wear.
What do you mean ready-to-wear?
Oh, ready-to-wear is just something you can already find on my online rack and say, oh, I want to get this. And I'll say, just bring 100 cedis and take it. And so it's already done. Yes.
That one, I don't come to you and then you have to
No,
take your time and
you just give me your size.
Wonderful.
And I ask you, oh, what's your size? Probably in the UK. And then you say I'm a size 10. And then I say, okay, I have it. You can have it. And then I take my money.
But there are a lot. It looks as if, in my view, I may be wrong though, the fashion industry in Ghana might be too crowded.
There's space for everyone.
There's space.
I think there's still space for everyone, really.
So if I come, you show me how to do it. You teach me.
Unfortunately, I don't train.
Oh, you don't train?
No, I don't.
So maybe
not yet.
Maybe you want Jimmy.
Yes, it's here. I can train you maybe later. But now, no, I don't have the...
Apprentice?
I don't have an apprentice. I don't have the time. I don't have the space for it at the moment. In future, maybe when I have the space, it's something I would love to consider, but not now.
So how many people are working with you?
I have 6. I currently have 6 people.
So you don't want me to come and learn?
Oh, Bishop. Maybe a private one.
Wonderful. Great. Now, Viva, let's look at COVID.
Yeah.
How hostile or friendly was COVID to you?
Friendly in the sense that it helped me to redefine my business. I mean, I was just reading a friend's post just moments before coming here, and he had said something about every occasion being a training ground for you because it comes as a challenge or it comes as an opportunity. That's just how COVID presented itself. It came with its opportunities. It came with the challenges. It helped me redefine my business. I got into the ready-to-wear space because of COVID. If COVID had not come in, I probably would not have thought about it. Hostile, yes, in the sense that I had to close my Spintex shop, which I had just opened, because I wanted to get closer to some of my clients in Accra. My shop is located in Tema, and so I wanted a space which was closer to some of my clients in Accra. But because of COVID, I had to close it down. So that's how hostile it was to me, you know.
So we know COVID opened the space of technology, I mean, social media. How have you been able to use that platform to enhance your
social media?
Yeah, your business.
Oh, a lot. I think about, I mean, it probably would be over 80%. I probably would give it about 90%. 90% of
you
my
do
clients.
90% of your business on social media?
Yes.
Wow.
Most of my clients, 90% of my clients, I get them from social media. I hardly have walk-in clients. Not that I hardly get it. They're just about 10% of my total clients.
How do you do it?
That's just posting regularly what you do. You have this client who has won something that you've done. She sends you a picture and then you put it up. And then someone sees it and say, oh, I love it. I want you to do the same thing for me. That's how we do it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not expensive?
Social media.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at it in terms of the results it's going to bring you, then no, it's not at all.
So if you do a bridal wear,
Mm-hmm.
that is your high-end product.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't mind, I'm coming for a wedding. How much would that cost me?
Oh, Edward, I won't let you trick me online. You're trying to trick me to mention numbers. I'm not going to do that.
Wow. Okay, then let's look at if you do ready to wear. I'm not asking the price tag.
Yeah.
But if you have order a day, let's look at what you do. How many, fabrics or design or clothes are you able to sew
in a day?
In a day.
It depends on the style. There are some styles you can do in a day. There are some styles that will take 2 days. There are some that can take 3 days. And so it will be difficult to just give you numbers now. But it all depends on what style the client wants and how complicated it is.
So let's say ready to wear, prior to COVID, ready to how many?
Oh, as for ready to wear, depending on the style, I probably could use maybe 2-3 hours to do something, to come up with a top or to come up with a simple dress. I mean, there are some of my tops that I'm sure will be rolling on TV. Most of them, probably about 3-4 hours, you can get one done.
You said you were creative lab. Do you pick, sometimes when you walk to some, tailor or seamstress, or fashion designer, you have these magazines they look through, and then, but do you do your own, or you also do that?
We take inspirations. I take inspirations online all the time. I mean, these days, we're fortunate enough to have so many designers, and so sometimes you don't really have to even think so deep. You can see something someone has done. It could be even just a hairpiece. It could be a band. And you could take inspiration from it to do your own design. So sometimes it's not just sitting down and creating from scratch. Sometimes it is seeing something you're inspired by and then building on it. Yes.
So looking at the industry now, if someone is watching us and want to get into it, how expensive or how cheap is it to venture?
I would say it's not expensive. I mean, I started with really nothing. I could have started with an electric machine. I could have started with a hand machine. That's what a lot of people do, and then you build up on it. And so for me, my advice to anybody who wants to get into the industry is, please, money is not an excuse. Just get yourself a machine. And lucky enough, you have people who you could go to and say, oh, I want to knit this dress I've done. So you don't even have to have your own knitting machine. You can walk into a shop, and that's all they do there. So if you want to start, please get your machine in your bedroom and then start it.
How difficult is it to get clients? When you started,
I have never had issues getting clients.
Why? So well?
It's not just sewing so
well. Or it's because
I think
you're in the
friends.
banking space, so people...
I have friends.
Okay.
Yes, and so you know how friends will want to patronize something you're doing. And so even before actually getting into social media, you have friends who would contact you and say, Viva, I want this, can you do it for me? And then we get going. So really, it's not difficult. So long as you're doing something which is nice, which is in vogue, which is beautiful, it's not so difficult to get clients.
Talk about in vogue. I think the industry is always evolving.
Yes.
How difficult is it to follow trends in the industry?
It's not difficult. Just be online. Just read a lot. Just follow these designers and you see what's going on around. If you sit in your corner, you won't know. So you have to be online. You have to really research, and then you know what's going on out there.
Do you do exports?
So I have clients who live outside, and so when they make orders, we have to post them to them. So if you're looking at export in that sense, then yes.
How do you manage as a mother when you were in banking space and doing this work? How were you managing it?
Actually, when I was in the banking space, I was single. So I actually took advantage of my single life, you know, but I think I got married after I left the bank. Yes.
How do you manage it?
Oh, it's okay. There are times when I'm in the shop and I have my boy strapped at my back and I'm working because I have to do it.
You have to do it.
Yes.
Viva, what is it? How's the future like when you look at the fashion industry in Ghana?
Oh, very good. Very
good.
Very,
good in
very.
what sense?
There's a lot of money to be made in the space. I mean, if you look at what's going on, if you follow social media, you will know what's really going on in the fashion industry. So if you ask me, I'll say it's very good. There's a lot of money to be made in it.
But you meet a lot of people out there. You say, look here, COVID,
oh, COVID, really. But like I'm saying, can you try to see the opportunity COVID is trying to present you? I mean, if I just sat down and said, okay, oh, it's COVID, so I'm not going to do anything. I just put my hands in between my legs. Like I said, I probably would not have come up with my ready to wear. So Amu Mauto says, it's a training process for you, whatever it is, whether it's an opportunity or a challenge, it's a training process. So try and see what training COVID is trying to give you. I mean, I'm doing ready to wear now. I lost my shop, but I was able to do something. I was able to do something that would help me sustain my employees at the time. I couldn't send them home.
You didn't send them any of them home?
No, I couldn't.
What about those at the Spinkters Road? Or you didn't have
that? No, I had employees there. When I closed Spinkters, everyone there went home. But in Tema, no. I didn't send anyone home.
Or the 6 were still intact?
At the time, I had 4.
Or so, now you moved on, added 2?
Yes.
So all these ones are what we call masters? They are not apprentices?
Yes, they are. So 4 are technical. And if I say technical, I mean those who actually sew. Yes. Okay. And then 2 are just people who assist in the sense of either it's marketing, and then the other is like a shop attendant, so the person who helps to manage the shop.
So how often do you do, let's say, bridal wear?
These days it's quite often. Not necessarily wedding gowns, but things concerning weddings. So it could be like a reception dress, it could be like bridesmaids wear, it could be a bridal robe. So I'm not into the wedding gown space yet. I mean, I've done a few wedding gowns, but I'm not fully into that space yet. But all the other stuff concerning weddings, yes, I do them, and it comes often.
So in getting to this space, what would you describe as your high point and low point?
My honestly, let me go to my low. My low points most of the time will be I mostly don't have issues with customers. Not that they don't give me issues, they do. But I think my experience with managing clients in the bank, and I used to manage very high-end clients. And if you know these people, they come with their own. You know, I know it all. So managing them gave me that experience to be able to manage my customers very well. But my employees, they usually are my low points.
Why?
I mean, a lot of people in the industry will tell you this. There's no stability with them.
Because you don't pay them well?
Oh, no, I do, no matter how you pay them. Usually you don't find stability with them. And so for me, usually I tell everyone, one advice I give to everyone who wants to get into the space is never get into it when you're not technical yourself. Never try to get into the space when you cannot sit behind a machine to operate it, to sew, because you can't depend on them. They will mess your business up for you.
Wow, they will mess your business up for you.
I promise you. I promise you, they will mess it up for you.
So what do we do to be able to stop that as a country, as a people?
I don't know. Honestly, I've been trying to figure this out for the past 3 years, and I still don't have any answers to it. I don't know. I just don't know.
Great to have you in the studio today.
Yeah.
Viva. So this has been Market Avenue. My name is Edward Nyako. My guest has been Viva Bruce, who is the creative lead for VAD by Viva. God willing, we meet tomorrow. Shalom.
There are strong women whose stories teach us perseverance, logic, decisiveness, and self-confidence. Being strong is not just about physical abilities, but also emotional, intellectual, and mental strength. Women's Voice is a platform to hear and share stories to encourage women and girls. Women are the real architects of society. It is they who provide the foundation of power, grace, wisdom, justice, creativity, and hope. Join us live every Monday at 4 p.m. on GBC News and GTV, Wednesdays live at 4 p.m. on GBC News and a repeat on Saturdays at 4 p.m. on GBC News and Sundays at 3 p.m. also on GBC News.